There's a second aspect to the brain that I want to emphasize relative to the Rockefeller habits. We all talk about how there's the left brain and the right brain, and some of us are more dominant than the other. You can do the exercise where you can figure out whether your right eye or left eye is more dominant. We've got the similar polarity that we've got to be able to manage in driving our companies. Our job, obviously, as growth companies, is to drive change. Many of us are the change agents, in fact, in our industries. What's the problem, though? What do all the rest of your employees want? That's right, they want stability. And so there becomes the rub. This spring, we hosted Jake Jacobs. And Jake said something very insightful, at least from my perspective. He said, if you want to drive change, you actually need to provide stability. And if you want to drive radical change, you need to actually provide radical stability. One of the things that people just feel is radical about our work in the Rockefeller habits is this notion of this daily huddle. I mean, look, I see everybody every day. Why do I need this kind of 15-minute focus time? But you know what's interesting? That's the kind of thing, the Rockefeller habits are the kind of disciplines that provide the radical stability that actually lets you drive radical change. This New York Times article was also digging into why was Goldman Sachs able to see the tree, the subprime meltdown, before anybody else? It's not by accident that one of the basic disciplines at Goldman Sachs is not a single daily huddle, but 2 daily huddles. Starting with their senior team, they huddle for 15 minutes at 6 a.m. and at 6 p.m. versus their competitors who might get together once a month to kind of see what's going on. How do you know a pattern exists? You need a certain amount of data points, at least 6. And if you only look at stuff once a month, it's going to take you months to see the pattern. If you see it weekly, you'll see it in weeks. If you see it daily, you'll see it in days. And if you do it every 12 hours, if you want to move faster, you need to pulse faster. And so the Rockefeller habits is what provides this kind of radical stability that allows you to deal in radical times. And I think there's one thing that's clear. 2008 is going to be volatile. Right now, we got stock markets moving 300 points every week. And we got a bunch of just insecurity right now out in the marketplace, the devaluation of the dollar and all that. That means only one thing, which is what GE figured out in '93. That the only thing we can do is know how to move fast, because nobody knows what tomorrow is going to look like. We just have to have better data and company structured to handle this kind of radical change. And so our tools provide you the radical stability to do that. And that's why I called Mastering the Rockefeller Habits.